Hello, friends. Welcome back to another exciting series of Jenkins. I hope you all are doing great and taking care of yourself. In today's video, we are going to touch base one important concept of build parameterize, and that's what we are going to talk in today's video. We are going to walk through all these parameters like Boolean parameter, choice parameter, credentials parameter, file parameter, multi-line string parameter, password parameters, run parameters, string parameters. So all these parameters, you are going to see a demo session on that, and I will be going through with you that in shortly. So let's get started. So friends, before we take a very deep dive of understanding each and every parameter, let's first understand why we need our build to be with parameterized. So there would be a scenario where you want to pass the string to your shell script or Windows command. That's where you can use a string parameter. There can be a situation where you want to promote your code from lower environment, which is SIT, UAT, to production. That's where you can use the choice parameter, right? You can also use the parameter called as a Boolean parameter, where you want to basically evaluate certain condition. If this is true, then only execute this. That's where you can use the Boolean parameter. You have something called as a file parameter, where your string sorry, the script is basically you looking for the file path or the file name to be passed, so that it can print or it can go and do some calculations using that file. Etc. It can be any number of reasons. So that's where you use your build with parameters, and we are going to walk these parameters in our today's video. So let's quickly get started with our first parameter called string parameter. So all you need to do is, once you have logged into the Jenkins dashboard, you need to click on create job, which I have done, and then select a very simple project called as a freestyle project, and I'm going to name it as demo job parameters, because we are talking about parameters, right? So click OK, and then let's select something called as this project is parameterized, and now it gives us an option which needs to be selected. So let's select string parameter, and let's name of the string is name, and I will just write a default name as Rajesh, right? And then I'll quickly go down into the build step, call it execute shell. All I'm going to do is print. Make sure you use the same variable name which you have declared above, right? It's very case sensitive. So I'm going to write as name. Okay, and now let's save it. The moment you save it, now you see your build now has changed to build with parameters. So let's click on that, and you see the default value is getting populated, which is Rajesh. So now let's click on build, and it has been built within a couple of milliseconds or whatever. So now let's see the console output, and you see the name is, it's populating with the default value which we have passed. My name is Rajesh. So now let's go back to the same project, click on build parameters, and let's change the default value to Raj, and let's see what happens. So let's go to the console output and see whether it's populating the name as Raj or Rajesh. So let's click on that. And if you see, now your default value is being overridden with the new value called as Raj. And that's how you can use your string parameters, right? So now let's quickly go to our next project, which we can click on configure. And now let's go to our next parameter call has multi-line string parameter, right? So all I'm going to do is type here multi, and I'm going to write here this is build parameterize project. Excited to watch this video. So click here, go down, multi-line string project, right? Okay, and I'm going to change the variable name as multi. Okay, something I'm going to use is because I want it to be get populated into the new line, so I'm going to use this, right? And click save. And now let me click on build with parameters, and you see it's populating, right? So let's click on build, go quickly to the console and see whether it's populating the multi-string project or not, right? And that's what it is doing, and it has display our output on the new line, right? See, so that's how you can make use of multi-line string parameter, right? Now let's go to another parameter and cancel this, and now let's select something called as a choice parameter, right? Now I'm going to write here choice 1. Okay, let's click on build parameters, and that's where you can basically use your parameter, right, to promote it from UAT to prod, or you can have multiple options, right? We'll try that also, don't worry. So let's first see whether it's populating the correct output or not, and it says promoting the code from UAT to prod. Let's go back to something called as configure, and let's give here an option from where you want to promote the code, say from UAT SIT to let's click on save and build with parameters, and that's where you get an option whether you want to promote the code from SIT to pre-prod or UAT to prod. So that's how you can basically get use of this price parameter to promote your code from any of the environment or lower environment to an higher version of environment, which can be a pre-prod, which can be a production environment. So I hope you got a understanding of how to use the string parameter, the multi-line string parameter, and the choice parameter. We will be now touching base the next parameter called as the file parameter. So let's get started. So friends, let's quickly look at the file parameter. So if you see, I've selected the file parameter. All now I need to give is the location of the file, right? So I'm just giving my local location here. Okay, and then just going down, removing this, selecting this, and build with parameters. And now it gives me which file I want to select. So remember, this kind of parameter is used when your build is looking for some file to be passed so that it can basically work on it, do some defined calculations or defined processes what you have defined in your build, and then it gives you a desired output. So that's how basically this parameter is used for, right? So now let's quickly go to the another parameter, which is a very important parameter called as the choice parameter, the credential parameter. So there has been a situation, you are in a situation where you want the to make an SFTP connection from your where your Jenkins is running to another server and copy a file and do whatever the steps you have given. So this parameter helps you to do that job, right? You do not need to remember the username and the password every time or a private key to do that. So all you can do is select what kind of credential type you want. So you have a normal username and the password, then you have SSH username with a private key, then you can use a secret file or a secret text where you have the username but you do not want to expose the password to it or a key to it, right? But we are going to use basically a simple call as SSH username, a username with a private. So I've already created the credentials for the demo txt. So let me show you how did I did. So I went to basically, let's just leave this. I went to manage Jenkins and I clicked on manage credentials. Then I have clicked on add credentials, and that's what I have added. So let me show you what I've done here. I've selected global. The name I've given has demo, username is txt. Remember, I can treat that as secret, so it will not expose my username in the build, right? So that's how I can do it. And then I can basically give here the key, right? Paraphrase is here, or I can copy that here, right? So it totally depends how you want. So let's just leave it as blank. And now let's go back to our project, which is this, right? And that's what I have used, right? So I've selected, sorry, let me, so I've selected here credential parameter. I've selected here SSH username with a private key, and I select here default name has demo, right? And then it will get the username and the password from there, right? I'm going to show you this more in upcoming session of how to use the pipeline script to get this values populated in your log file and other stuff. So don't worry, we'll check that in our upcoming session. But as of now, let's just click save, go with parameters, and that's how I select the ID. It does not exposes your username, right? Our username was demo txt, and then I've just killed on build, right? And then I go to the console output, it says everything is success. So that's how you can use your credential parameter, right? Now let's go with our next and last thing, which is called as the Boolean parameter. All I'm going to do is click here Boolean parameter, name as Boolean name. Let me type here Boolean name. Okay, so one thing you need to understand here is if you click this set default, it would be always true. If you don't do, then whatever you select would be there. So let's see what happens, right? I'm just writing here. I'm going to build execute shell and just typing here parameter, and then I'm just using the name, right? let's see. Let's now go here with build parameters. It says select the build name and let's see what it gives, right? So now let's go to the console output and see. So it's true, right? So now let's go back to configure and let's see select by default. Okay, and then let's click here save build with parameters and let's click build and let's see what we get, right? So we get true, right? So always it's true, right? uh, but if you don't want, okay, you just untick it. Let's go and check what it is, and now it's false, right? So this kind of boolean parameter is used when you're writing a script where you want to exit the condition, right? So let's see. I can quickly show you a demo of this. Okay, so so let's type here if boolean name. Okay, if whether this will put if what is our this. Let's save it, build with parameters, and let's just build it now and let's see what happens. Okay, so it says I'm not feeling all right, right? So our boolean parameter got evaluated. Now let's just select this, right, and see now what we get, right? So I am here, it says I am all right. So that's how you can basically use the boolean parameter, right? Hope you got an understanding of how to use different parameters, right? So we have covered almost all the parameters, right? Which is boolean, choice, credentials, file, this password parameter, right? So let's also do with that, right? So let me type here password, right? So you want to basically, this is needed when you want your shell script is basically using a password to basically as I mentioned, right, you can use it while connecting from one environment to another environment. You have defined your username. Now you just want a password to be passed, and that's where you can use. So there are various ways to how can you use your uh, password, right? As I mentioned in choice parameter, also you have in password parameter also, right? So let's use something default one as a demo, right? And it's encrypted, right? So no one knows, right? You can use this, and now I am just typing here. I hope you're not going to use this in your script, right? So don't use this. This is just for the demo session. So don't use it. So it says, if you want, you can change it, but let's just build it and see what it gives, right? So it says my password is demo, right? And that's what we have printed. Now let's go with Vision and change the password to 123. Okay, and now let's build the project and see what it gives, right? It gives the password 123 with change, right? So that's how you can basically pass the password parameter to your shell script in the build and do the execution, but it's highly recommended to use the choice password, right? It will help you out. So I hope you got a better understanding of how to use the built with parameters. Don't worry, we will be going all these through in our pipeline script, right? So a more advanced way of calling your credentials parameters in the build job or the build logs, right? That's where I hope you like this session. If it has been very helpful, kindly hit the like button and do not forget to click on the notification bell icon to get the notified whenever I upload a new videos on my YouTube channel. Until then, take care. Bye bye.